You're listening to Metal Thunder Radio interviews. If you like what you hear, you can listen to the full shows by going to our website, www.metalthunderradio.com. We got tons of great music, videos, merchandise, and more. You can also check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/metalthunderradio. You can send us a message, submit your music for airplay, or just stop by and say hi. Either way, hope to hear from you soon.
Are we set now, Brian?
We are set.
Oh,
so now if
cool.
I introduce the person that we have on the phone, it's not going to be somebody else like it was.
Right. No, it's not going to be somebody else.
If I say right now on the line with us we have Dave Lombardo,
I
would be correct.
The legendary drummer Dave Lombardo on the line.
What's going on,
up,
Dave?
Dave?
Hey, how are you?
Good, man. Okay, so now, we had somebody else call in about 2 minutes ago for a show that we're doing 2 weeks from now, and we thought it was you, and it was just this whole thing. So, yeah, it's good to hear from you.
Well, now it is you, so...
Well, let's get right to it, man. You got when I was putting together this list of questions that we wanted to ask, the first thing that really stood out was you are insanely busy. You have a full plate on your hands, and you got so many different things going on, seemingly at once. So I have no idea how you keep it all together. But yeah, I mean, you got just a lot of great stuff going on. We can get right to, of course, film.
Yeah, let's get to film.
Yeah, let's get to film.
Cool.
I mean, you got the second album, which came out, I believe it was mid-September, correct?
Yeah, September 16th, correct.
September 16th, Fire from the Evening Sun. We're going to be playing a track from that album, the title track after the interview. First album, Harmonic, came out in the spring of 2012. I see that you were produced both albums. So my question, the first question is, I mean, you have enough on your plate when you're on a record.
When you're just doing the
when
record,
you're just
right,
doing
yeah.
the record. But with the whole, being a producer on top of that, was this second go-around a little easier than the first time, or is it just, is it constantly a learning experience? How was the whole experience?
It was, well, the whole experience was exciting for me because it's something that I've always wanted to do. Obviously inspired by some of the, great artists and producers that I've worked with, one of which, is Rick Rubin.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, definitely.
And, Mike Patton, he produces his own music, and, John Zorn, jazz saxophonist and composer, he produces his own music. I'm just inspired by, and I'm surrounded by so many influential people that I've always wanted to take this on. So the experience was amazing because I took every challenge as a learning step, to being, a producer and a creator of music in a way,
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's got to be challenging because you got so much going on all at once, and now this is like an added responsibility. But like I said, I mean, it's a learning experience, so you're able to take that as you move forward and apply it to just so many other things.
And if it's something that you love, it's great, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, with the guys in the band, we got, is it Pancho? Am I pronouncing that right? Or Pancho?
Yeah, that's Pancho is the way I call him Pancho. But Pancho is fine.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the spelling. I'm like, I think it's Pancho, but I'm going to go with either one. But, Pancho or Pancho Tomaselli.
We've never been good with pronunciation on this show ever. So.
And you got Jerry Nessler on guitar and vocals. Are these guys that you've known for a long time? How did the whole band come together?
Well, I met Jerry back in '95. Just to give you the Reader's Digest rundown of the story. I met him in '95. We did several gigs as film with another bass player at that time. And so I got busy, obviously with Fantomas, and then Slayer called me back. I was in Grip Incorporated at the time.
Oh, yes.
I was doing Apocalyptica. So I was in no different situation than what I am now, because I obviously wasn't in the Slayer, work machine,
Right.
So, now with my free time, I could obviously do all these different projects. But anyways, I met Jerry. We had talked about putting an album out at the time, but it didn't work out because obviously my schedule was filling up. So we lost contact. I contacted him in 2010 when Hanneman got sick, and Tom Araya went into the hospital for his spinal or neck surgery. And I said, I need to stay busy, I need to get working, I wanted to keep my momentum. I love playing, I love creating. So we got back together, and we couldn't find the original bass player, so we we found Pancho Tomaselli. He's the bass player for the band, the classic funk band War.
Okay.
And
wow,
and Tower of Power. And this guy is just amazing, and Jerry is as well. He's just they're unique musicians. I seek musicians that aren't of the norm,
right?
Of what most people tend to want. Oh, I need a guitar player like the guy in Slipknot or the guy in Slayer or whatever. I go for these guys that are a little different. Musicians that are just a little more. Not a little more, but just a little bit more to my taste in creating something new.
And you did that even with Fantomas. You had Mike Patton, obviously.
Yeah, I was going to say
unique
that, yeah.
voice in his own right. So, this is something that I've definitely noticed the keeping busy thing. As speaking from somebody who's been following you for the better part of 30 years now, even when you first left Slayer, there was never really a time that you did take a break. You always kept yourself busy, whether it be with Grip Incorporated or whether it be with Fantomas or whether it be you did a little stint in and may not have been a little stint, but in Testament also, correct?
Yeah, that was a great album.
Yeah,
I love that album.
So you've just been all over the map.
Yeah, you're just everywhere.
Well, the way I live my life is this way. There's 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. There's a reason why there's 24 hours a day, and there's a reason why we sleep for 8 hours. So what I do is I sleep for 8 hours. I'll give 8 hours to myself, to my own personal time, however I want, and then I focus on 8 hours of work, whatever that may be, whether it's emails having to do with my career, my job, which is music, creating music, or playing, the music. So you kind of, and obviously 8 times 3 is 24. It's easy math,
But it's good that you're able to keep it that rigid.
I'd like to thank you for giving us part of your 8 hours
I was
now.
going to say, I really appreciate that.
Now you know how I do it. I focus. You got to stay focused,
absolutely.
It's just something I've just picked up through the years, and I enjoy. So.
Well, you brought up
good, man.
You brought up the drumming side. Now, when you look at what you do, obviously you're a well-rounded drummer. You do so many different styles. The drumming style in, say, a band like Fantomas, it's certainly physically challenging in its own right, I'd imagine. But
no, that's more mental.
Or more of like a feeling, more of a feeling.
That's very challenging, on the mental side.
Mm-hmm.
Physically, I would say Slayer is physically challenged, but not mentally.
Well, see, now that was actually my question. How do you, or is this an easy transition for you to make? Like when you were doing the Fantomas thing, and then say Slayer calls you back, and now you got to go into that Slayer mode. Is it a hard transition going back to something that is really just purely a physical thing, or is it just like riding a bike? You never really forget once you do it. How does that? Is the transition difficult for you?
No, it was easy. It's totally easy. It's like riding a bike. The only thing you need to work on is the physical part of it. It's like a track runner, or one of these guys that run the mile in 4 minutes, 3 minutes. The first time you try it, man, you can't get around the track, without taking you forever, and then
right.
As time goes on, you could get around the track, easy, and make that mile in what, 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes,
right.
However.
You're conditioning your body.
Yeah.
So you just pick up, it's your stamina. You got to work on your stamina and your energy. That's the only thing.
So is the mentally challenging playing more difficult than the physically challenging playing, or is it kind of similar? Or
I think Fantomas has to be the most challenging music I've ever played. Yes. That mentally is it's a mind fuck. That shit is so much detail. We'll spend on 2.5, 3 seconds of music. Literally, 2 seconds of music, 1,000, 2 1,000. You could fit Mike Patton could fit so much information in 2.5 seconds. That's I've never experienced that ever in my life. So yeah, that music is definitely the most difficult, but it's very gratifying because you become very creative. It's like it's like a creative vitamin you take when you perform this music, you know, and you work around these musicians that are exceptional.
Yeah.
Right. Well, even with film, I mean, there's so many twists and turns. And again, for everybody listening, you're going to hear the title track from the second album, "Fire from the Evening Sun." There's so many twists and turns in that song alone. You know, you have everything. I mean, I heard everything from, you know, prog metal to thrash to early metal to even some hardcore in there. So there's all these twists and turns in there, you know, and these time changes that, you know, just wrapping your head around all these time changes. So even with what you're doing now, it's just that, you know, you certainly seem like you do enjoy challenging yourself. There's no doubt
definitely.
there.
Yeah. Right now I'm in a very comfortable place because I feel that I have musicians that I could, you know, channel a certain style. Let's say I'm thinking, I want to put together some kind of a jazz, you know, metal band or a jazz punk,
right.
You know, and fuse those two vibes together and see where it takes us. And I have the musicians to challenge and to, you know, try to get that kind of, you know, sound out of. And it's pretty cool, you know? So,
yeah.
I don't know. It's all exciting. We have another album hopefully out in April or May.
Nice.
So you'll have more music.
Nice.
I was just going to ask you about the record release party, and you're already like, oh, 4 months from now we got
another
another album coming out.
Oh yeah, we got another album out.
Oh,
It might
nice.
take a little longer because I got to leave now for about 3 weeks. But I hope the guys will lay down the vocal tracks, you know, for the new songs while I'm gone. So that way, when I get back, I could listen and, you know, make my notes and work on it again and hopefully have it done by January. So that way we could have it released by May.
Nice.
That would be awesome.
And to go on your point before, I was curious, when you go from, like, you know, the style of Slayer to the style of Fantomas to the style of Film, are you consciously looking for the different styles, or is that just like where you are at that point, you know, you with the musicians you're working with, or are you specifically looking?
It's where I am at that point. Let's say, for example, you see what happens to me, I'm almost like this chameleon that kind of adapts and changes when he hears the music or the instrumentation that he's playing with.
Right.
Whoa. Hold on, I've got helicopters going over here.
Well, it is Los Angeles.
Yeah, there's a chase going on somewhere.
Yeah, who is this guy? He's on his phone out in the middle of the street. Yeah, I don't.
Spotlights all over the place.
I don't. I kind of like, you know, I gel with the musicians. I say Jerry, he'll play this jazz riff or a funk riff,
Right.
and I'll immediately play the drums to adapt to that rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You know, so I adapt.
Right.
I'm like a chameleon, I guess.
Yeah,
Iguana, or I don't know what the fuck it is.
and like
It is. It's
You
an
change
iguana.
colors? That's awesome.
and
One of
like
those color-changing animals.
Right.
I don't know.
one day he's green, the next day he's yellow. You know,
Purple.
and like
Yeah,
Scott, Scott said, you're obviously a well-rounded drummer. I mean, you know.
You don't just stick to one
through
thing.
the year. Yeah, you don't stick like. Unfortunately, a lot of musicians will stick to what they know, and that's it.
And they could be totally great.
And they
at
could be
that.
great.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm going to stick to thrash, and this is what I'm going
Right.
to do, and that's and that. You will just you'll any style you'll adapt to, and that's what makes it great.
Well, now you guys.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's all good. I mean, I like the fact that, there's certain musicians that do that, but I don't know, there's just too much in me. When I'm, let's say, on tour, when I was on tour with Slayer, let's say for a month, 2 weeks will go by, it's like, I want to get creative. I want to go home and work on something else.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I've already done this for 2 weeks,
Right.
and I'm like, already, I'm done. I don't think I would be able to last a job, a day job.
By now, forget it.
Unless you're constantly
I don't think I'd be able
creating.
to fucking handle it.
Yeah.
Unless you're constantly creating,
Well, that's true, yeah, because you get antsy pretty quickly, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
After
I do, yeah. Which is, it's a good thing, but sometimes it's not so good because you got to be patient and you got to wait. You can't have everything when you want it.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
it's true. When
yeah,
I do,
it's,
you guys, because
great.
you mentioned Poncho, and I also saw that you guys filmed something recently with Tommy Chong. Is there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that, and I had to jot that down because I just see Pancho and I filmed something with Tommy Chong, and I'm like, oh, fuck that, I got to ask him about that.
Yeah.
What was that?
Well, Tommy Chong is filming a pilot. A pilot for his show. It's, I guess, raising awareness, for medical marijuana.
Okay.
And he asked me to come on there and, and chat about it, and my experiences and, so I did. It was just, it was a nice, chill, relaxing afternoon. I'm
sure it was.
I don't know if it's ever going to find a release date, but, it was fun. It was a nice hang with the guy. I mean, he's full of great stories.
Oh yeah,
I can imagine.
I can only
you
imagine.
can't even imagine.
Right.
So, yeah, that's all that was.
And then you guys, you had your record release party at the. It was at the Whiskey, correct? It was on October 16th.
Yes.
How did that go? How did the whole record release go for the album?
It was good. It was good. Promotion, wasn't so great, I guess, and so the ticket sales lacked. I'll be honest, but there was a good crowd there that had been following the band for a while, and a lot of new faces and stuff. So it was good. It was good. We don't care how many people we play for. What matters is the people that are there.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
I
how
totally
I
agree.
feel. So
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's
so it was good. It was good. I mean, I think the after show party at the Rainbow down the street was a lot more fun than the actual hang at the show. So
that had to be great.
That's the key point right there. That's a good time.
So and you're also again, this is like I started off with, just you have so many things going on. There's also you're working on a score for an upcoming Disney pilot also, I understand.
Yeah. Well, that's finished. We finished that up.
Okay.
It's all done. Now it goes through a I don't know what the exact terminology is, but now it goes through a period where it goes underground. You don't hear about it, you don't see it, and then it'll pop up and everybody will get a copy of it and you watch it, and I guess the Disney people vote whether it's going to be on syndication or whether we start going into production or it just gets scrapped. So we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen.
That's probably how Disney
So I
operates.
hope it takes off, and I hope there's, other opportunities that come up from this, because it was an amazing experience, and we loved the music that we did. We played, of course, there was some classical,
Right.
cinematic themes, but there was also children, like little xylophone sounds that we had to, create. We created a reggae piece.
Nice.
I mean, the total amount of music, it was like 11 minutes. That's all.
And
I think
that's
the cartoon
the total
was,
chameleon came out.
13 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I highly doubt there'll be like Disciple off of in a Disney pilot.
No, I wouldn't think so.
God hates us all.
No.
World paint.
Yeah, you never know.
paint.
You never know.
That's
A lot of
right.
metal fans in Disney.
That's true.
Believe it or not.
That is true.
A little angel of death in the
puppies.
background. Yeah, that's all right.
World painted
Yeah,
puppies.
Well, you got, and again, you're going to be also unveiling later this month. And we just watched a quick YouTube clip on this right before we came on the air.
Right, the thing you posted earlier today on the Facebook page.
You guys must be going, what the hell is this guy on?
No, I'm trying to keep track of it all.
I have to say,
actually did say that.
I have to say, growing up obviously as a huge Slayer fan, and researching this and researching what you're doing, it's amazing. Like Scott said, you have a full plate. It's amazing everything you're involved in.
Yeah.
It's not just what we see, it's all this background stuff, and it's great stuff that you're doing.
On the website, which, by the way, if anybody listening wants to check it out, it's DaveLombardoArt.com.
Yep.
There was limited info on there. It looked like you were going to be unveiling a lot of this later in the month, and then, of course, the video that we just watched right before we came on the air shed a little more light into it. So I think I kind of got the gist of what this artwork built for rhythm theme is, but why don't you tell us a little bit more about, or whatever you can tell us about it at this point? What's it all about?
Well, it's a new, I guess a new way of
it's difficult.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, did we lose him?
We
no,
lost
wow.
him.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I thought it was like a dramatic
Yeah,
pause.
he's like,
You know?
this is the art. This is the art.
All right, let's see. Let's wait. Give
I'm
him
sure
a
he
He
may
minute.
may
call
call
back.
back.
we,
I knew it.
we were sitting there like, wow, he must be really thinking about this question.
He really
I
wants
must
to answer this question.
I was like, I must have asked a really kick-ass question. And then all of a sudden we realized, oh no, he dropped the ball. But yes,
Awesome.
we were just getting into a little insight on the whole artwork built for rhythm. So yes, go right ahead and give us the scoop on that.
Well, I'm part of this whole this company Scene4 put together, this art project. It includes also other drummers. Let's see, Dave Weckl, Bill Ward is part of it. Chris from Slipknot, he's a part of it. And what they do is they snap these shots of drummers, using these special drumsticks and that have lights on them, and you kind of document these moves, with the light and the help of these special cameras and time lapse, and they print these pictures and they become these beautiful art pieces,
That is
And,
awesome. The video
so
did allude
I
to
have a
that.
series of 12 of these pieces that are going to be released on 11/21, and I'm really excited because it's just a new way of creating art, but of course it's done digitally and with photographs instead of brushes.
Right.
But you kind of see what drummers are doing. It kind of snaps a shot at what they're creating at that time. What a particular drum beat. Well, you could see what he's doing.
The motion.
By these photographs.
So it's a series of stills, or is there going to video also, or?
No, it's a series of stills.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Nice.
And this, and again, DaveLombardoArt.com
DaveLombardoArt.com,
is where you can go to
yep.
check out all that. So that's 11/20. So basically, right around Thanksgiving, that's going to be
next week.
Next week.
Yeah,
Nice.
Next,
Oh, cool.
next
All right,
Friday.
yep.
Next Friday is when it'll be unveiled.
Very cool.
Yeah,
And
I'm taking it over to Europe, and I got a couple drum clinics. Well, not a couple. I mean, probably 5 or 6 drum workshops, drum clinics going on over there. And it starts in Paris, and I do a bunch of press and interviews for film, in Paris. And I'm going to be showing some of the artwork, which I'm really excited because, of course, Paris is known for art.
oh yeah,
I get to show some of the, originals, over there. So I'm really excited. There's a lot of good things happening.
Yeah,
There are-
really.
Hey, man, one door closes, 10 open.
apparently, sir, because
Well, for you anyway.
well, not for Ron. Ron's a loser, but for you.
That happens when you do.
Well, I mean, and
Oh,
you were talking about all that because, and on top of all of what we just talked about, Fantomas, you guys are going to be getting, you're going to be doing some more stuff. You and Mike are hooking back up, and we're going to be looking for another album, maybe some upcoming tour dates and all that.
I feel like there's more to come.
Nice.
I'm
Oh,
so
nice.
excited. This morning I woke up, with this song off of Director's Cut, in my head, and I couldn't get it out. And it's terrible when the song is on, loop.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can't
Right.
take it.
That was me last night.
That's me every night.
Yep.
It's like, how am I going to perform this song? How am I going to do it? I forget how we created this on stage. Well, it turns out we never played this song on stage.
Oh, there
So
you
we
go.
have to figure it out. And so it's going to be a difficult one,
Oh man.
so that one's it's exciting,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
not only that with Fantomas, I mean, there's another little surprise that's happening this Wednesday.
Ooh.
Collaborating. So you're the first to know.
Nice.
Oh, I like that.
You like that?
Hear
huh?
it
I
here
do.
first, folks.
Shh, let him talk. Shush.
Yeah. Well, I'm working this Wednesday. I'm collaborating with Joseph Bashara. Joseph Bashara is the music composer for the movies, the horror movies, The Conjuring,
Oh wow.
Annabelle,
Wow.
Very cool.
Insidious. So
Wow.
I'm working on Insidious 3 this Wednesday
Oh,
with
awesome.
Joseph, and we're
Nice.
creating
That's awesome.
some drums for the new movie, and the movie's going to be, I think, released very soon.
Wow.
Oh, that is
nice.
awesome. And
Yeah, I'm really excited to do this. I set up all the drums are today. I ordered the drums and what I'm going to use, and I'm going to be performing with 2 cello players, a viola, and a violin player.
Wow.
Oh, that is awesome.
That's a score.
Yeah,
and a
under his
half.
direction, and he's an amazing composer. I've been listening to his stuff for a while now.
That's awesome.
That is
Pretty excited. So you guys get a sneak preview before Facebook.
Nice.
Sweet. Thank you.
Hear it
Well,
here
I
first.
do have to say quickly, my girlfriend Cecilia, who's listening at home, is a big fan of yours, big fan of Fantomas, everything that you've done. So I know she's listening, and she made it a point. She's like, tell him that I love his stuff.
I didn't get the last part of that.
She's like, make sure when you interview him, you tell him I like, all his stuff. I said, I will do that. So I did that. There you
that's
go.
cool.
Well,
But yeah, now I mean, well, I guess we can chat a little bit about the Slayer days for a bit here, and one of the questions, and these are really questions that are actually coming from fans like us, not the cliche stuff about like how'd you guys get together. I mean, we know all that stuff. We've been listening to you guys for 30 years. But what I was curious, we were watching a YouTube video recently of one of your earliest shows. It was March 28th, 1983. I think it was at the club Woodstock
I was
in
actually
L.A.
the guy in the black shirt waving to you. Do you
There was like
remember me?
literally, there was like 3
I know
people
you
at the
remember
show.
me.
Yeah, there was like 3 people there, and then it was literally like 6 months later. I watched another show, and mine wasn't even 6 months later. It was from like early July of '83, and the place was packed. So my question was, the following for Slayer grew extremely rapidly. But was this something that you guys were all aware of at the time, or did you just have your heads down and you were pushing forward, you were getting ready to record Show No Mercy? So, were you aware of it, or were you just, head down and moving forward?
That first show that you saw
Uh-huh.
was Slayer headlining. That second
Wow.
show you saw was us opening up for the headlining act.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
That would be the reason
Does
why.
that make sense
That
now?
makes sense.
Right.
Now.
Okay. All right. So that does make a little bit, because I'm thinking, I'm watching this and I'm like, holy shit! In like 2 months, they packed the place.
Right.
I'm like, that is incredible.
But
No,
regardless,
we were opening up for August Red Moon or some band called Bitch or something.
Oh, yes.
Bitch.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Right?
The infamous
We all
bitch.
remember Bitch,
of
right?
course.
yes.
All
How
right,
could you
so that's what
forget
we were probably
Bitch?
opening up for. That wasn't us yet.
Oh, okay. All
It did,
right.
But to answer your question, it did go, fairly quick. The word got around, and like when we first, like in LA, we weren't really drawing many people. But then once we went up to San Francisco,
Oh, there you
we
go.
realized that we were onto something because the fans, they knew our songs.
Right.
I guess tapes were being recorded and sent through the underground. And by the time we got to San Francisco, man, they loved us. They told us one thing.
Oh,
They
that's
said,
awesome.
you know what? The music could have sounded a little better if you didn't have that Hollywood makeup on.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
that's
yes,
right.
with the early
That's right.
makeup,
All
yeah.
that eyeliner
Yeah.
that we were wearing
Yeah.
because we were trying to
Eyeliner.
compete with the glam rockers and,
Right.
and the crap that was going on in Hollywood at the time. So from that point forward, we never used makeup again, and we knew that the music was what needed to speak.
Yeah, because you guys ditched the makeup pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seemed like that was like kind of for thrash at least. Everybody tried to start off in L.A., but L.A. had such glam roots.
Oh,
especially with Van Halen at the time, and Motley Crue
Rat,
coming up and all
all
that. And
that,
Rat,
yeah.
what you're saying is similar to like what I've heard Metallica say too. In L.A., they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You guys
San Francisco.
all moved to San Francisco, and San Francisco exploded
Exodus,
for you
all
guys.
that
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
that became the Bay Area thrash scene.
Yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, L.A. really wasn't a part of it. Except us. I mean, we were trying to establish some kind of scene here in L.A., but it just, didn't work.
Right.
I think it's awesome. There's certain things that happen throughout your career. You realize, hey, this isn't a good thing for the band. We need to focus, in playing San Francisco. We need to play other places besides
Right.
your home city. And then you conquer the world, and then you come back home, and then everybody loves you.
Of
Right.
course.
Of
Yeah.
You fucks.
Isn't
They
that
were
always
in
the
your
way?
beginning, you fucking assholes.
It's always the
Yeah.
way. It's always the
Oh,
way.
you guys are great.
It's like, yeah, wait a
Why haven't I heard?
Yeah,
Why haven't I heard of you guys?
Right,
Well,
of
'cause
course.
You got your head up some kind of
Bandwagon douchebags.
I know what you mean.
I know what it is.
Of course.
Well, here,
Yeah.
now I'm gonna ask this question now because this is actually a personal question of mine that I've wanted to know the answer to this since I picked up Hello 8s when it came out. I was still 12 years old. The backwards message that you guys have at the beginning of Hello 8s, which obviously when you spin backwards, everybody knows says "Join us."
Join us.
Okay, which scared the shit out of me by the
Oh,
way
yeah.
when I was a kid.
Was
Well,
that in The Exorcist? That was
yeah,
it. That was great.
my question, it's a two-part question, is whose idea was it to put that at the beginning of the song, and whose voice is that doing that? Is it like Jeff's voice, or is it your voice? Like, what's the story behind that?
It was all of us. It
Was
was
it?
probably even, I think Tom's brother was there.
Oh wow.
Oh, sweet.
I was there. Carrie was there. Jeff, Tom. Yeah, we all just sat around a mic and chanted,
That's
join
awesome.
us.
That's awesome.
That's
That's
so
Well,
awesome.
it was all going, it's all directed towards all these, hardline Christians,
Oh,
fanatics,
sure.
Right.
Oh,
that were
absolutely.
trying to make, something out of nothing. And,
Right.
we even gave, Slayer, not a synonym, but, you know how you have a word for every letter. I can't think of that. right
Acronym.
now.
Oh, an acronym.
So-
An acronym.
Is that what it is?
Well,
Okay.
acronym.
An
Acronym. Yeah.
We gave an acronym to Slayer. Slayer laughs as you eternally rot.
Right.
There you go.
You
Yeah.
know.
Oh, yeah.
So we did that because they were doing it to Kiss, Night and Satan
Knights and Satan
Service,
Service.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
AC/DC, Antichrist.
Devil's,
Devil's
Child.
Child.
That's right.
Yeah.
Really? It was like, really? Oh, yeah, well, we could do better than that.
You did.
Oh, no, Satan laughs as you eternally rot.
Right.
Yep.
Slayer.
And
So, yeah, it was all in fun.
the funny thing is that I went to Catholic school when I was a kid, and I was in the convent. They brought me in the convent because I was wearing an Iron Maiden shirt underneath my uniform shirt, and they saw it.
Oh,
So they
wow.
had me go into the convent, and they said, "Oh, KISS stands for like exactly
Oh,
what
yeah.
you said:
I
Knights and
know.
Satan Service, AC/DC's
Yeah, I
Antichrist,
remember
Devil's
hearing that.
Child," and I had to I had to give them tapes with the lyrics and stuff.
Oh, my
But there was
God.
no way I was giving them a Slayer tape. I gave them Motley Crue. I was like, here's some lyrics.
I got pulled off of the bus for religious instructions because of the Hello 8s tape.
There you go.
Yeah, they saw it and they were like, "What the fuck is it?" Well, they didn't actually say that, but they were. Yeah. Well, and
You know they wanted to say that.
they wanted to say that.
The hypocrisy would have been, what the fuck is that?
Like, holy shit.
Are you
Yeah.
okay? What are you listening to? Is yeah, I'm fine. Are you okay?
Well, this is another, I think, pinnacle moment with Slayer. Also, was the and I was supposed to be at the show. It was August 31st, 1988, at the Felt Forum in New
Yeah.
York City. I think this is the reason why you guys weren't able to play there.
Oh, yeah, I was the black guy in
20
the shirt
years.
waving at you again. That was me.
Yeah, the infamous seat cushion night, where literally the crowd tore the entire place apart.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and now. And I have the whole show on DVD. Somebody filmed that show. And what is this? You're all the way back there behind the drum set. I mean, did you see all this shit going down, or were you like, what were your thoughts as they were tearing apart the place? What was going through your mind at
I'd
that
have been
point?
like, awesome.
I had the best view. I saw everything. From up there, from that vantage point, I had to dodge cushions.
Oh,
Because
God.
they were throwing them everywhere, and I'm sure the crew was throwing them around too. But one of the things that I think everyone forgets is that the dust at these cushions
Oh, yeah.
had, for I don't know how long the Felt Forum had been around and how long those cushions and how many asses were sitting on the cushions. The dust and the pieces of foam that were flying around, it was insane. It was, you were inhaling this stuff. It was
Oh, my
horrible.
Fucking
God.
hazmat scene. Holy crap.
Oh,
Yeah, you had to dodge them, and it was amazing. I was laughing. It's like, oh, this is fucking great.
That's exactly what I would say.
until you got the bill.
For any other band, it would be like, holy shit, let's get out of here. But it's Slayer.
Yeah, I know.
So
you
it's
kind of
expected
expected it.
almost.
You totally expected. Well, and
Well, I took the drummer's oath of you never stop playing.
That you
go.
The
didn't.
entire song is the guitars go out, the lights go out, you keep playing.
That's right.
So,
It really
so I didn't care.
escalated. It really
That wasn't
escalated.
done. I wasn't going to walk off stage.
Oh no.
Fuck that.
If it actually really escalates during Ghosts of War, that's when it just goes ape shit. Yeah, that's when everything just goes flying. You're like, oh my god, the whole place got torn apart. This is great. This
Awesome.
is what I love. We're getting some insight on some of these things that we've all here have wondered
for
And,
years.
Well, and
you know.
here's another one at Download Festival in 2004, which I believe used to be called the Castle Donington.
Yeah.
I remember when I saw this on YouTube, whatever, and I was like, oh, Dave Lombardo joined Metallica. All of a sudden, there you are. You played, I believe it was Battery and the Four Horsemen.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering, because Lars got sick. This was obviously a last-minute thing. So there's not like, you had time to practice or anything. Did James Hetfield just walk up to you and be like,
you do
yeah,
us a favor?"
Dave,
You want to play?
we got this thing. Lars can't do it. Can you play? And did you even have time to run through these songs before you went out there and played them?
Yeah, we did. We ran through them. Actually, I was approached by my manager and by Slayer's manager, and he just, told me that, hey, man, Lars didn't make it, and the Metallica guys are wondering if you're interested in doing some songs. And I said, absolutely, yeah, anything I can do to help. So we got together in their little backstage rehearsal room, and we went through the songs. They had a drum set there, and the majority of the songs that they were playing at the time were off the Black album, and more of the newer, songs. And
Right.
God We Trust.
Yeah.
Right.
And Justice for All. I'm sorry. And God We Trust is Dead Kennedys.
That's right.
So I said, you know what? I'll just go ahead and do the openers, and that's it. I'm not too familiar with the other ones. Although I did try to work on them just in case Joey wasn't able to perform them.
Right.
I did work on some, but he was fine. He was okay. So I didn't have to do that. But yeah, no, we rehearsed, a few times. We rehearsed. You know what? Just break right here. Hello. We rehearsed, the songs a few times, and we were ready. We went for it, and it was great fun. I loved it. I think the funniest moment was when I was. Are you there?
Oh yeah,
of course, we're here.
We're
Okay,
just
good.
we're
I didn't
captivated.
know if it was one of those moments
dramatic
where-
pauses again. Like, oh shit.
No, we're
Dramatic
here.
pause on our end.
Right.
I think one of the most fun moments, or really funny moments, is when I was performing or rehearsing Four Horsemen with the guys, and Kurt. When I went into that breakdown section where it goes halftime,
Right.
right?
Yep.
I went into that section very groove. I went in very funky. It was heavy, but yet, it was on point. And Kurt stops playing and was not hollering, but he said, "That's the way it's supposed to be played."
Oops.
And that's, what? That's a true story. I'm not, in any way, saying anything negative. It was just a funny moment.
Of course.
I love those guys. They're great, including Lars.
Of course.
They've always been very, very nice to me.
Did Lars happen to start playing it like that after that, though?
I'm curious if he did. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if he did. I don't know.
Oh.
And
I don't
just
have time to research though.
Right.
It's
I
kinda
don't
hard to
have
come
time to
up
look
with.
into that.
and just being recognized, when the Big Four came out,
Oh yeah.
and being recognized as one of the 4 greatest metal bands ever.
Ever.
I mean, that had to be, I don't know. Obviously, as fans, we look at it and say, of course, Slayer, would be. I don't think you think that being involved in it, you're just doing your thing, and you're glad for all your success. But that had to be like something like an honor to say.
I'm
Hey,
sorry. Repeat that question again. I lost you.
I was
What
just to say, being recognized as one of the 4 biggest metal bands when the Big Four came out.
Yeah.
One of the 4 front runners and biggest metal bands ever. That had to be an honor. Just to,
It was an honor, but you know what? There really should have been a Big 5.
Overkill.
Overkill.
No.
Oh, Exodus.
Exodus.
Well, actually, see me, I look at it as the Big 6. because I love Overkill
Really?
also.
Yeah,
I
so
think
do
yeah.
I,
yeah.
So like, but Exodus absolutely should be in there, and Overkill.
And well, yeah, being from
Yeah,
New
New York
York,
City.
we look at
Yeah.
Overkill kind of like
But
it's the
by
hometown
far,
boys.
Exodus. I always
sure,
felt that
Exodus.
Exodus never got their true due.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
they really didn't, because
No, they
Exodus
didn't.
is a fucking incredible band.
Yeah.
Because we heard. I remember. In the early days when we had gotten a hold of what was it, Bonded by Blood,
Yeah.
on cassette before it was released on vinyl. There was a bootleg that had leaked, and which of course disrupted the whole release of the album and all this, and so we were very aware of Exodus, and we were playing shows with Exodus, in 82 or 83. So yeah, that's one thing, but that's the way it is.
Yeah,
It is. It's how the well. I mean, hey, and Gary, he's stepped up. He stepped up before Jeff Hanneman passed away, and obviously now that Jeff is no longer with us, he's in there and he's doing his thing, and he certainly has the respect of everybody in the metal community.
Of course,
Yeah,
there's no doubt. about
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
And you know what? He's Hanneman approved.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
And as fans, we everybody says that there's only one person that could ever come near to replacing Jeff Hanneman.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
Gary Holt.
That's Gary Holt.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh
Gary,
yeah. Hanneman and Holt. Hanneman loved Holt's playing. When we were younger, I remember, Hanneman and Holt used to hang out together, and Hanneman would say, "Dude, this guy's a badass. Dude, your leads, this," and Hanneman was inspired by him and his playing, and they were both inspired by each other.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a perfect addition to the band.
Absolutely, definitely.
Well, listen, we don't want to keep you much longer, but we would like to let you plug any of the websites that you like. Obviously, we were talking about DaveLombardoArt.com.
Yes.
Which go to check out all that upcoming stuff about the artwork for Rhythm coming up. But what other websites would you like to throw out there where people can find out more about, film, Fantomas, whatever you'd like to plug?
Well, I mean, there's obviously, Facebook. It was Dave Lombardo. Dave Lombardo on Facebook. Make sure it's the official one. And there was also Film Official is on Facebook and Twitter, as well. Dave Lombardo's on Twitter, and I have Dave Lombardo Art. And I don't know. That's it.
Oh, okay.
There's I haven't really gone full blown with the whole, T-shirts and cups and toilet seat covers.
He hasn't gone the way of Kiss yet.
I was
Not
waiting
yet.
for shot glasses. I don't know.
Yeah, shot glasses. I'm not there yet. I'm trying a different angle here.
Yeah, he's not Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
No.
So there'll be no film diapers or caskets or anything like that.
I'm waiting for film on Scooby Doo. Yeah.
Yeah. No, none of that. None of that yet. Who knows? Maybe that's the way of the future.
Right. Who knows? But yeah.
Pimping yourself out.
That's
Next thing
right.
you know.
Well, I tell you, we really want to thank you for coming on
This
here
was
tonight.
this was excellent.
It
Thank
was
you
an
so
honor,
much.
and just thank you so much for coming on and talking to us tonight. And we would love to have you back on the show. When you got new stuff to talk about, when there's especially when you do this this new album that's going to be coming out.
I was going to say the new film album
Oh,
in
yeah.
April.
Yeah.
Now, we did
Absolutely.
play Fire from the Evening Sun, but you can get this on the archives. Anybody that missed it, you can always go back when we post this in the archives. You can listen to it again. Dave, thank you so much once again, bro. It was really
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for giving
Thank
us
you. It was fun. Sorry
piece of
about
your
that
8 hours.
disconnection, but hey, what can I say?
It's modern
it
technology.
adds to the fun.
It adds to the fun. It's modern technology. But
technology. What are you going to do?
well, you have a great night. We'll
Thank
talk
you
soon,
so
bro.
much.
Thank you again.
Thanks,
All
Dave.
right, guys. Take care.
Have
Bye.
a great one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.